I bid you welcome.
Welcome to Vampire Cinema. Well, I'm not going to do the whole Vampire Cinema in my Count Dracula voice. Though it was tempting, because like all those old creature features had the, usually had some sort of, crazy weirdo name. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to be humble me, humble Michael. And I just want to welcome everybody to our first episode of Vampire Cinema. So, those of you who don't know what's going on, I'm doing a workshop in New Orleans in 2014, in May of 2014. And some of the people who are looking at attending wanted to, like a film list of movies to get them ready for making a vampire hunting kit, which is what the workshop is. So, this is a way of presenting some movies for everybody to watch. So, each month I'm going to come up with a double feature, vampire-related double feature for you guys to track down the movies, and then I'll do some little intros for it, and then we'll do a little drink intermission, a little drinky intermission. So, with no further ado, let's jump into our first movie, and let me tell you a little bit about it. It's the 1922 Nosferatu, which if you read the book, Nosferatu means undead. Well, as it turns out, it doesn't exactly translate to that. Apparently the Slavonic term Nosferatu means plague bringer. So that's, that's really relates to this movie because unlike some of the other films, vampires are sort of plaguey. They you're bitten by a vampire, you become a vampire. But this one, the vampire is actually kind of rat-like. You notice like usually have the canine fangs, for vampires. Well, the Nosferatu in this film has rat fangs, like that. And rats actually play a big part of this particular film. You'll notice that the plague and that sort of thing is a big reference in terms of it. So that's one of the things that you're going to look for in this movie. Now, this movie, just to give you a bit of history, this movie had a bit of trouble because this was not exactly sure it was the first. It's certainly the first that I'm aware of that makes direct reference to Dracula, the book, or the storyline Dracula. So it was many of these copies, if not almost all of the copies, were destroyed by Florence Stoker, Bram Stoker, the writer's wife, and the estate stopped it. And to the point of where the names, like depending on the copy that you guys managed to track down, the name might be Dracula, Count Dracula, or it might be Count Orlok. So, you might look for that. If you see Count Orlok, you'll sort of understand what that's all about. So, that's something to keep your eyes on. The other thing to notice is Max Schreck. Now, Max Schreck is the creepy dude who plays Count Orlok, and he's the tall, pointy-eared, teeth dude. And Max, this is the interesting thing about old Max, is there was a lot of rumor going around that this was the only film he's ever made, and then where's he gone, and thus, was he really a vampire, and all that sort of stuff, which makes for good, internet sort of stuff, for sure, and perhaps at the day, maybe that was going around, and that certainly was good for ticket sales, hey, they hired a real vampire to play a vampire. Well, that's actually not true. Max Schreck actually has been in films and stage and things like that. The thing that made Max Schreck sort of a target for that as an idea was, in many ways, his last name. Schreck in German means fear. Max Fear. So that was part of it. Now, those movie buffs out there, here's a little quiz. Do you know where Max Schreck has also appeared? Not the actual actor, but the name. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, time's up. It was actually played by Christopher Walken, played Max Schreck. And he played Max Schreck in the Batman Returns movie with Michael Keaton, the old Tim Burton movie. So, and I'll show you a little picture right here. Here's Max right now. Looks a little different than Max as we knew him back in 1922. Now here's some more trivia for you. Now, I have to warn you, when you watch this, you're going to be watching it and you're going to be going, okay, geez Louise, it's nighttime, and yet the sun's out. Well, back then, technology was not the bestest and the westest, and they had to film almost everything during the day. Originally, though, the film was tinted. So if you went to a movie theater and saw this film, you would have gone in and you would have seen the scene. Oh, here's a regular old black and white movie. But the night scenes were actually sort of bluish-greenish. And so you would know the difference. They'd have this sort of moonlight glow. Now when you watch it, you're sort of put off because you sort of see the difference between, or you don't see the difference between the two different things. And so it's like, hey, what's going on? It's nighttime. And the other thing that's problematic about is that more than any other, well, certainly, let me just put it this was the start. This was the beginning of the idea of vampires being so susceptible to sunlight. Even in the book Dracula, it's sort of like he's weaker and all that stuff. He doesn't thrive in sunlight. But this film really made sunlight a deadly force. And so that is different than, usual stake in the heart or silver or whatever it is you have. Sunlight becomes a prominent thing against vampires in this film. And very prominent, as you're going to see. So that's kind of something you need to keep an eye on. You'll notice the end. I won't give it away. So now the last thing I want to mention before you guys get rolling on this is I want to talk about the idea of creepy vampire versus hello, I'm a suave vampire. Now those are the two types of vampire movies, except now they sort of merged a little bit. In this one, this is definitely, Dracula is a freaky dude. If you came to his house, you'd be like, dude, what the hell, right? Well, that is one version. Now, of course, Bela Lugosi, which we're going to have that on the original Dracula with Bela Lugosi, or, the actual film with Bela Lugosi anyway, Dracula. That is more of the suave, smooth, sassy boy vampire. And way different than good old Max Schreck. Sorry, Max, you're not the most handsomest cat on the block. So that is one thing to notice, that this dude, this vampire, Count Orlok, is bad news. And you can imagine rolling in there if you were Jonathan Harker and you'd be like, can I go home now? So that's the big difference. So that's what we got on the slate today. So take a peek. Check out Nosferatu, and let me know what you think. Send me a little message if you like. In fact, join the Vampire Cinema Facebook page. You can access it through my blog or through my my Facebook account, and join the talk. Hopefully, there's going to be a little bit of chatter. I'm kind of hoping we'll get a little chat group, a vampy chat group going on about this. And so watch the film. I'm going to be throwing up another video if you want to watch that now and get ready, or you want to wait for intermission. But the next video is going to be our cocktail for the evening. So you can prepare that for either the first movie or wait for the second movie, which I'll tell you a little bit about after you watch the first one. All right. Enjoy Nosferatu, Symphony of Horror.